Usually lipstick is the first thing I put on. I hate my lips, they're too thin. The bottom one, it isn't as thin as the top one, but it is thin, and I don't want to get plastic surgery, at least not on my lips. Oh. How can you stand to look at me without my lipstick? Oh, no. I'm not wearing my pearls. I feel naked without my pearls, I do. Oh, I don't know how I got all the way over here without my necklace. Ugh. Wonder who saw me. Who was I talking to? I was talking to that depressing woman, Siobhan, but I can't remember if she was important or not. She might be very important, you know, somebody that I should know. But I think she was just a secretary. Oh, that's right. She was nothing. She was just a temp. She was no one. Don't get me wrong, I do temp work too. Not today, of course. I hope they don't stop calling me for work just because I asked for today off. Maybe I should just, you know, call and just check in. That Siobhan, she looked awful. She did, I'm telling you, and I mean this in the nicest way. She's a very close friend. She is one of the dearest people I know. But she had on this dress, and it was just so awful. She was wearing flat shoes with a silk dress. Anyway, can I talk to you? I feel that we're very close. I do want to hear what you have to say, but first let me just tell you this one thing. Then you can talk, but first let me just tell you that that is a nice dress. Where did you get, oh, it is beautiful. Where did you get it? But before you tell me where you got it, and I do want to know, let me just tell you this one thing, then I'll listen to you. How are you? It is so good to see you. How's your family? Okay, but before you tell me about your family, and I do want to know, let me just tell you this one thing. I'll make it quick. Is this color okay? The lipstick. I mean, I know that white is okay. Isn't white for a wedding dress a beautiful idea? I like white, don't you? I look good in white. Except my hips are huge. How can anybody love me with hips this huge? I look good in black, too. I'm just so tired of black, aren't you? Oh, God, and you're wearing black. Well, it looks good on you. Black is good to wear if you think you're overweight, but I don't really think it hides a thing. Oh, God, I am so sorry. I hope that you don't think that I'm talking about you. You look great. What I wouldn't give to look like you, I'd give my right arm for your thighs, but then I wouldn't have a right arm and you wouldn't have thighs. Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to learn to be happy the way I am, but I'm not. How can I be happy with these hips and these lips? Hips and lips. These two things are able to control 90% of my thinking day. Oh God. Oh God, okay, this is really hard to admit. I am going to admit something to you, something that really embarrasses me. No, I'm not. I'll admit that later. I'm afraid that if I admit this thing to you, you won't like me. You probably don't like me already. Oh God, I thought that more people would like me if they met me in white. I mean, it's pretty hard not to like someone in a wedding dress. Even if you hate them, you usually pretend to like them that day. Oh God, that is not the horrible thing. I have to admit it's something else. But I can't tell you right now. Oh God, you know, I hope this dress is okay. It's too late to take it back. I'm just so desperate to be liked that I think it puts people off. People sense that you're desperate, then they don't like you. Why shouldn't they like me? You know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm thinking out loud. I don't know how to think quietly. Watch. I am going to try to think quietly for a moment. You watch. Let's see if I can do it. Here I go. Can't do it! Now I'm going to try to have no expression on my face. Here I go. This is me with no expression on my face. expression. He won't let them smile. He says that this is the only way to see who a person really is. He feels that when we smile, we cover up who we really are. We cover up our soul with a smile. I don't really believe that, do you? I mean, I think you can have a soul either way. I'll prove it. Watch. Smile. No smile. Smile. No smile. You didn't see my soul disappear now, did you? Ingrid Bergman had the most beautiful smile, but she also had a beautiful soul. I should have a boyfriend. You know, I have a beautiful soul, but I don't like any of the men I meet, and I meet lots of men. Some very dear men with warm souls and good hearts, you know, men with a gentle spirit. But all these men with warm hearts and gentle spirits are married. Do you think it was inappropriate of me to show up at my sister's wedding in a wedding dress? Why shouldn't I? You know, I could be married if I wanted to be. What else do you wear to a wedding? Granted, it's not my wedding, but even so, I thought that if I came here in a wedding dress, then people would know that somebody once asked me to get married. I don't want people to think that nobody ever asked me. I was asked! But then he didn't show up to the church or temple. I don't want to tell you which. I'm afraid that you'll judge me. But I thought that if some heartfelt Lord man were to ask me to marry him and never did, and he might see me in a wedding dress, he might think this is his last chance, and he might marry me. I'd already be dressed for it. Haven't you ever heard of a double wedding? Well, I guess my sister didn't really plan for that. Oh God. Oh God, I am so sorry. You know, I want a beautiful wedding. Don't you? I almost had one. Well, there's still plenty of time. Ah! I'm 30 years old! Oh, I don't look 30 though, do I? I do look 30, I do. I wish that I was saying I do, but I don't really. Oh God, oh God, okay, coming down now. Coming down. People get so angry if you even mention Prozac. You know, I want to be committed. Don't you? Doesn't that sound peaceful? A nice white room, a white bed. I could cut off some of the material from this dress and make a nightgown. I could make a dress for that Siobhan, but I don't sew. Why doesn't she sew? She probably drinks. That's why she looks so old. I wonder how tall she is. Well, I'm sure she's taller than I am. You know, everybody is. I'm too short. I didn't mean to say that. That's sad. That's the thing that I was afraid to tell you. I'm too short, and you can't be short in the corporate world. It's true. Only tall people get jobs in power. There's this psychological thing about trusting tall people. You feel safe with a giant as your lawyer. You don't feel safe with Barney Fife. You know, Don Knotts defending you in court. So stupid, I know. When I could afford to go to therapy, now I spent all this money on this dress and I can't afford to go anymore and I don't have enough to eat half the time. Why should I give my money to hungry people? No, I deserve to look pretty. If I don't look pretty, I won't get hired. What was I talking about? Therapy, you know, and what do they tell me? They tell me that I'm strong and wonderful and that I deserve this or that, and I know this. But I saw Siobhan on the street in the ugly silk dress and flat shoes. I hope you don't think I'm being judgmental, you know, and I know somewhere in my heart of hearts that I am more attractive and more talented and more worthwhile. I don't want you to think that I don't think she's worthwhile. I'm sure she is. You know, but even though I know this, I still feel less than this ugly old woman in flat shoes. She's not even old. She's younger than I am. But even though I know this, I still feel embarrassed to tell this secretary that I'm just a receptionist and that I don't even have a permanent job with health benefits like she does. I'm a temporary person. She's a temp too, but she's a permanent temporary. Isn't that a crazy notion? A permanent temporary. I'm even less than that. I am a temporary. Oh, God, what is life about? I wish that I were still living in the 1950s and I could just marry some man and have him take care of me. Is that so awful? You know, I didn't fight for women's rights. Now, don't all you women out there get all angry with me. I'm glad that you have your rights to become lawyers and all that. But because you want to be a doctor, I have to be a temp. Because you don't want to be photographed in Playboy magazine, I have to work for a living. Because you want to be a doctor or an advertising executive, I have to work for a living. And for people like you, and you're all taller than I am, I spend so much time thinking about all of this bud and knife wedge bullshit. And we're all going to be dead in 80 years. Some of us less. Well, this whole thing was a big failure. Nobody noticed me. I didn't get one marriage proposal. I should just go back to work. You know, I've only been at my new job 2 days, but in the life of a temp, that's a long time. I wonder how I leave this bathroom without being noticed. Maybe if I tie up some of the material around my waist, it'll look like I came here in a really fancy cocktail dress. No. I'm gonna leave here with a very simple energy. Very delicate, with no expression on my face. Can you see my smile? Smile. No smile. Smile. No smile.